Somebody asked a question to Guruji a few years back in Cuttack. So this was the question and answer after the Gita talk. The question was, what is the message of the Bhagavad Gita just in one word? That was the question. And Guruji answered very beautifully as always. He said, it is fight. This is such a beautiful answer. And if you study the Bhagavad Gita, that is the message Lord Krishna wanted to communicate to Arjuna through different teachings, just to fight. Many places, if you read the Gita, you will find this discussion. Tasmat Utishta Kaunteya, O Arjuna, get up and fight. Sukhe dukhe samakrutva labha labho jaya jayu tasmat yuddhaya ujjasya. Giving up all the happiness and unhappiness, gain or loss, stand up and fight. This is the one message Lord Krishna communicated throughout the Gita. Again in the Gita also you find, though Lord Krishna encouraged him to stand up and fight, put your own effort. But finally Lord said, Sarva dharman parityajya. Just fighting is not enough. Just putting the self-effort is not enough to gain or to win the war. So you need the blessings. You need to learn how to surrender. Often we have been told in the spiritual path that you need to fight, you need to put your effort. That is always there. But without grace, it is very, very difficult to achieve. And when you read this book somewhere, you will find Baba has written. Often we say that self-effort is important for the spiritual growth. Guru said, without the grace, it is very difficult to achieve the realization. Yes, by putting your self-effort you grow, but the final touch is from the Master, that is called the grace. So, in our life, two things are always essential. One is to put our own effort. The second thing is the grace. And here Guruji has mentioned another beautiful, what kind of message the Guru communicates. It is the message of love. Through different teachings, we practice Kriya, we practice different techniques, but the essence of practice, what they really want to communicate is to cultivate the love. There are different spiritual paths, right? The different paths. So the one message is the message of love. That is the only thing the Guru communicates with the disciples. In Viveka Chudamani, there is a verse which Adi Shankara wrote. There are different paths to achieve the goal. What is considered the most important one? In the words of Adi Shankara, moksha karana samagram bhakti eva gariyasi. Among different paths, bhakti, the devotion, is considered the supreme path. As I said, different masters, different teachings, they will communicate the one thing. And what is bhakti? In the words of Adi Shankara, he says, So swarupa anusandhanam bhakti eva avidhiyate. What is bhakti? What is the devotion? Realizing your own self or searching your own self. So, Swarupa Anusandhanam, searching your own self, finding is considered the true devotion. So, love is the path. And you see, as I said, we are talking, there are different spiritual paths. Some people follow the path of knowledge, Jnana Yoga, some people follow the path of Bhakti, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, right? Different paths. And there is always argument and debate between those who follow the path of knowledge, those who follow the path of devotion. Those who follow the path of knowledge, they think the people who are emotional, they follow the path of devotion, which is not true always. And those who follow the path of knowledge, those who follow the path of devotion, they say the knowledge people, they are too intellectual, they do not have any heart. Always there is debate and they always criticize each other. That means they have not achieved the goal, but the goal is one. Adi Shankara, who is considered the master of Advaita Vedanta, he himself is talking devotion is the path that is considered the best among all the spiritual paths. Moksha karana samagrang bhakti eva avidhiyate. So in this book, Guru has mentioned another important thing, which is the art of prayer. Guru is saying prayer is an integral part of life. All the time, knowingly or unknowingly, we pray. Even those who do not believe in the spiritual path, they also have their kind of prayer. They do not accept themselves as spiritual, but they do pray. Even the atheists, they do pray. And the journey of our life in this life started with the prayer. It is written in the Bhagavatam, when a baby is in the womb, prays. All the babies in the womb, it is designed in such a way in the God's creation, the baby in the womb remembers its past lives and knows what kind of mistake it has done, so that it is coming back again and prays continuously. The other day Guru was talking about Prahalad, the story. Then what happens when the baby comes out? Right? Baby is suffering in the womb. When the baby comes out of the womb, again the play of Maya takes over. Then forgets. Those who remember after being born, that the same, because he was praying in the womb, those who remember after being born, they do not get entangled. And Guruji has clearly explained about his life. I remember in the Bhagavad Gita that he himself remembered his prayer in the womb, and he has remembered after that. Right? So our journey started with the prayer. Our journey started with the prayer unknowingly. Now our journey will also ends in prayer. That is how we can build our relationship. That is what we have been discussing since last few days. Usually, people, when they go through certain difficulties, they pray. When the life is smooth, everything is going well, forget. Usually people do not think about spirituality, not that always, some people. When the life is going smooth, who thinks of prayer, meditation, God? Right? But when you go through troubles and difficulties, then we do little more prayer. But what Kabir said in Hindi, Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. Everybody remembers God when there are difficulties. Those who remember God while enjoying the life, while there is happiness and joy, they never get difficulties in life. So that means, that says that prayer should be continuous, whether you are going through troubles, difficulties, or whether in joy or happiness. Prayer should continue. Right? So here Guruji has mentioned about the life of Mother Kunti. Right? She lived a very, very interesting life. She was born as a princess. But in the journey of her life, she has gone through a lot of difficulties. And she was the aunt of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna's father Vasudeva. His sister was Mother Kunti. And you look at her prayer. If you look at her prayer, it is very interesting. If you have read the book, she is saying, see, they went through all the difficulties for all these years. 13 years, all her sons were in the exile. They came back, they fought the war. Many people died, so much of problems and difficulties. And finally, when the war was over, when the brothers got back the kingdom, then Lord Krishna was ready to go back. Because Lord Krishna remained with him all these years in different forms. So finally, when Lord Krishna was going back, then she came, and that is the prayer she offered. She said, "Oh Lord, please give me more trouble and difficulties. Please give me more troubles and difficulties. Vipadaha santutaha sasvat tatra jagat guru bhavataha darshanam yatsat apunar bhava darshanam." Oh Lord, I want more troubles and difficulties. Why? Because now you gave us the kingdom, but you are leaving. What is the point? And if we truly analyze our life, any point of your time, if you have gone through certain difficulties, that is the time you have learned the most. Later on we realize that is the time we learned the most. Right? So who will offer this kind of prayer? And if you look at the life of Mother Kunti, fantastic. There are two stories about her, how she left the body. One of the stories, she and Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, they died in the forest fire. That is one of the stories. The another story, when Lord Krishna left his body, Arjuna came back to the kingdom, and just Arjuna told everyone that Lord Krishna left his body. That time Kunti had not heard about. The moment she heard that Lord Krishna left his body, she fell down and died, just by hearing this much. And you can imagine how much of connection she created in her life. In another prayer she is saying, no matter how many ohms I have to pass through, but oh Lord, let me not forget you. Such beautiful prayer. We are talking about maintaining the relationship with God. There is always doubt, or there is always confusion about the presence of God. What kind of gender God is, right? Masculine or feminine? There is always some discussion. Right? You may have heard the story of Ramatirtha. So he would address his audience God as he, sometimes she, sometimes it, like Mr., Mistress. Various ways. In one talk, he would address God in many different ways. So somebody asked a question. Hello, Swami, you are talking about God. Is your God Mr. or Mistress? Right? He said, my God is neither Mr. or Mistress. My God is mystery. Like there is always confusion about the God's gender. And here I am holding this Shvetasutra Upanishad, and you see what Upanishad says about God's gender. It says, this is a very famous mantra from Gurudev. Tom Stri. This is the mantra. Tom Stri, Tom Pumanasi, Tom Kumar Utava Kumari, Tom Jirna Dandena Vanchasi, Tom Jata Bhavasi Vishwata Mukha. What it means? Oh God, you are Stri. Stri means you are a woman. Tom Stri. Tom Stri, Tuman, you are the man. Tom Stri, Tom Pumanasi, Tom Utava Kumari, you are the young boy and you are the young girl. You are the old man, Tom Jirna Dandena Vanchas, you are the old man tottering with a stick. You are born with faces in all directions. Right? Which gender? God. Because God is everywhere. Right? God belongs to all the genders. Right? So nowadays there is a lot more discussion about this. Somebody told me there are 72 kinds of gender. I do not know. Because nowadays it is very difficult to address ladies and gentlemen. The different kind of genders. And in fact, somebody took 24 names because to address different kind of genders. There is gender inequality. One has to be very careful when give the talk. So, however, God belongs to all the genders. There is a beautiful prayer in Bengali, Tumi Arupa Swarupa. Tumi Arupa Swarupa Saguna Nirguna Dayala Bhayala Harihe. O God, you are Arup, you have no form, you have all the forms. You are Nirguna, you have no qualities. At the same time, you have all the qualities. Right? You have full of compassion, at the same time, you have full of fear, giving the fear to others. And in this book, you will find about Guruji's explanation about Lord Jagannath. Because if you look at the photo of Lord Jagannath, can you imagine whether he has a form or no form? No, it is very interesting form. There is a story where one person came. He was a sadhu, he came, he went inside the Jagannath temple and he saw the statue of Lord Jagannath. And he was confused whether Lord has a form or no form. So he had a stick, holding stick. With the stick, those who have seen inside the Jagannath temple, Lord is sitting on a high dais, and with the stick he wanted to touch the deity. When you want to touch the deity, and basically the stick is basically moving in the air, it is not touching anything. Deity is sitting there, it is not touching like this, it is somewhere moving in the air. God has which form? So, whether form or no form. Right? Many times this is the confusion happens. This is the confusion happens, and here I remember another story about Swami Vairagyananda when before he came to the United States, he visited the palace of a king, Ranjit Singh from Khetri, Rajasthan, those of you know. He basically supported the Swami Vivekananda's trip to United States few times. So they were having the same kind of argument and discussion, whether God has form or no form, why people worship the image. Right? When God is all over the place, when God pervades the entire creation, what is the point in worshipping the image? This was the discussion. And they were walking in the palace. Then immediately Swami Vivekananda pointed one picture. I asked him, whose picture is that? He said, my father's picture. He said, can you spit on that picture? He said, what are you talking? He's my father. But it's just an image. You can spit it. You can do it. Why? Because you have seen your father. When you see the picture, you remember your own father. In the same time, so a devotee while looking at a picture connects. That is how the spiritual life can begin. What did Guruji say the other day? The first thing is to believe. First thing, you need to learn how to believe, then to practice, then the experience comes. This is the journey of our life. And especially in Kriya is so beautiful, right? And the beauty in Kriya practice, we belong to everyone. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, we have everything. Right? That is the beauty. While talking about the relationship, we have been discussing since last few days the prayer of Gandhari. Right? Tameva mata cha pita tameva bandhuscha sakha tameva vidya drabinam tameva sarvam mamadeva deva. So we have been discussing. And we are discussing on different aspects. So I will discuss little bit about the divine aspect of God as the mother. Other day Narasimha Jayanti, Guruji was mentioning about life of Prahalada. His father Hiranyakashipu, right? And Hiranyakashipu was confused that how come my son, who was born from me, and talking about Lord Vishnu? What does he know about Lord Vishnu? So he asked question to his son, 5 years old boy, asking the question, when you talk about Lord Vishnu, who is Lord Vishnu? And what do you know about him? And here Prahalada told about the relationship. There are 9 ways one can maintain the relationship with God. And this famous verse in the Bhagavatam, Shravanam, Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. Iti Pumsar Pita Vishnu Bhakti Chat Navalakshana Kriya Te Bhagavat Yadha Tanmay Adhitam Uttamam. So this is a beautiful verse. In this verse, basically Prahalada is talking to his father. There are 9 ways one can worship God. Basically 9 ways one can maintain the relationship with God. The first one is Shravanam. Shravana means to listen. Shravana means to listen the glory of God. And you see, if you have seen, especially in India, people talk about the divine play of the Lord. So some people listen. Right? Through listen, that is how they maintain their relationship. And then they find a way how to connect. Shravana means to listen. In Kriya, what is Shravana? To listen to the divine sound. Then Kirtanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Kirtan means to chant, to sing the glories. Kirtanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Then Smarana means remember. Continuously remember God. So those who follow the path of devotion, they chant the mantras. Right? Continuously they chant the mantras. In Kriya also same thing. In Kriya, what we have been told? To remember your own breath. Right? Not only just to remember the own breath, in every breath to connect to the mantras. If we have been given a specific mantra, well, we all have mantras. Om is the mantra we all got. And some of you may have gotten specific mantra if you have any connection to any deity. So, remembering the breath, connecting to the mantra, smaranam, continuously remember. Right? Then, archanam, vandanam, serving. Archana means worship. Archana means worship. Some people do the worship, especially different kind of rituals people do. But in Kriya it is very specific. No need to spend too much of time on the worship. God is all the deities, they are all inside. You worship the God who is sitting inside. Right? Archanam, vandanam, dasyam. Dasya means the serving, like a servant. Right? Some people maintain the relationship with God as the servant. I am the servant of my Lord. I will do whatever I do, it is for the happiness and joy of my Lord. Some people maintain that kind of relationship. Then Sakhyam Atma Nivedam. Sakhya means the friend. Like if you think of the relationship between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, they are friends. They are the best friends. At the same time, Arjuna maintained the relationship as a friend, also accept Lord Krishna as his Guru. Right? Atma Nivedana means surrender. Whatever I do, everything is offered at the feet of the Lord. Right? So, different ways one can build the relationship. And now what we do, we look at our life, see what kind of relationship you can maintain, either with God or with the Master. Though we call the Master and we are the disciple, but different people maintain different kind of relationship with the Masters. Some people consider the Master as their friend. Some people consider Master as their own children. Even they are the disciple, but they still consider Master as the children. My child. And if you look at different people, you will understand. Those who think like Master is my child, they always think about how to feed. So, we have to look at our personality and then to make the connection. Then to make the connection. So, here Gandhari says, Tumeva Mata. Right? First thing he addressed God as the mother. Right? Why God as the mother? It is easier to connect. Then father. If you look at our life, most of the time we are connected to the mother little more. Right? Little more we are connected to the mother. Paramahansa Yogananda ji, Guruji has quoted the saying of Paramahansa, which I put it in my note. Divine Mother, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion. This is a very famous quotation of Paramahansa. If you have read his teachings, you will know this. Divine Mother, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion, and may I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. So beautiful. May I be able to awaken thy love. That's what Paramahansa is saying. The job of the Guru to awaken the motherhood in all the disciples. That's what Paramahansa is saying. Right? And there is another beautiful saying. I think whether I wrote it from this book or I remembered. In Bengali, again, another saying, Ma achena ami achi. Ma achena ami achi, bhabana ki achi amar. The Bengali people will understand. Ma achena ami achi, bhabana ki achi amar. Mayer hate khai pore, ma niyechen amar bhar. So what it means is, when my mother is with me, I am not worried about anything. Because she will take care of all my needs. Why should I be worried about anything? Yesterday you might have seen the two little young girls, two little kids, at lunchtime. The little one who is like 3 years old, her father brings to ashram few times. Couple of times he would bring her. And she will not come in the ashram, she will sit in the car. And she will play with the iPad, And then he will keep the door open. She is not worried about anything. She is sitting and playing. Father is worried. In every few minutes, he will go and check. In every few minutes, he will go and check whether she is all right. Why? Because she has completely surrendered herself that I am not worried, so worry is her job. I am not going to get worried for anything. And she was happily sitting in the car. The father would come inside, and every few minutes she will go out to check how she is doing. Right? So that's what the beautiful, this prayer here is, when my mother is there with me, I am not worried about anything. That is the reason here Gandhari, the connection first is towards the mother. Because the children are very comfortable with the mothers. Many times I ask the children, the young kids, whom do you like most? And what the smart answer they give depends upon who scolds more. Sometimes mother is scolding, I like dad more, but it is actually the mother. Right? Because the children are more connected to the mother because mother can understand the heart. In the same way, when we make the connection with God as the mother, then the path becomes easy. The path becomes easy. Think of the life of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. So he worshipped God as the mother. All his success he credited to Mother Kali. And we know the stories. Think of Paramahansa Yoganandaji. Think of our Gurudev Baba Hariharanandaji. They all found the relationship in God as the mother. God as the mother. It is not, in Christianity you can also see. Jesus addressed God as the Father. But many people, they connect themselves to Mother Mary. Right? Mother Mary. So the path, the spiritual path is not so easy to follow. Many times you will be tested out. Many times. That's the reason, though many people come to Kriya, they do not stick for a longer time because the spiritual life demands a lot of commitment. Right? So path is not so easy. It's like a double-edged sword. Whichever way you work, there is problem. But now, when you find the connection with the God as the mother and think of God as the mother. Then you can make quick connection. Because mother understands. Because any relationship you build, God will address that need. If you address God as the father, God will behave like you as a father. Friend, friend. Mother, mother. Friend, friend. Whichever you address. Why the mother? Because it becomes easy. Mother can understand the heart of the children very easily. So, God as the mother, if you see in India, in the Sanatana Dharma, in the Vedic religion, I am not using the word Hinduism because Hinduism is kind of confusion word. There is no Hinduism. It's called Sanatana Dharma, the Vedic religion. If you, anything you want, like you want power, right? You want knowledge, you want money, you want prosperity, Mother Lakshmi, right? Prosperity, Ma Durga, Shakti, Saraswati, knowledge. So they all are the feminine aspect of God. You see? Right? So the God is there, but all the power belongs to the mothers. Right? So in the Bhagavad Gita you find a beautiful verse in the chapter 10. The verse is Kirtihi Sri Vak Cha Narinam Smutir Medha Dhrutikshama. Here Lord Krishna is addressing, I am amongst the feminine qualities, I am fame, prosperity, fine speech, memory, intelligence, courage and forgiveness. All these qualities come from the mother. You see? So that means whatever you are looking for, it is with the mother. That's the reason Gandhari addressed Lord as the mother. Lord as the mother. Mother Annapurna. Guruji has also mentioned about this in the book, Mother Annapurna. She is the one who feeds the entire creation. Not just the human. In any forms of the living beings, any form, she is the one who is feeding. She is the one who is feeding. If you have seen in our Balika ashram, have you seen the photo, those of you have seen Balika ashram, that photo where Lord Shiva is standing and begging, right? Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Pranavallave Jnana Vairagya Siddhartham. That's the prayer. Lord Shiva is praying to Mother Annapurna. She is the one who feeds the entire creation. But what Lord Shiva is asking? Jnana and Vairagya. Give me knowledge and the dispassion. But in terms of the food, she is the one who provides food to all. And you find like hundreds of beautiful incidents, hundreds of beautiful stories. And in this book, Guru has mentioned the life of Swami Nigamananda. Swami Nigamananda Saraswati. And Mother Annapurna is worshipped in Varanasi, Kashi. You find the famous temple near in the same the area. Lord Shiva, Kashi Vishwanath, and here is the Mother Annapurna. And it is believed that no one is remain hungry in that area, because she makes sure that everyone is fed well. And Nigamananda knew about this. He thought, I am in the land of Mother Annapurna. I am not going to ask anybody for food. Let me see what happens. Because he is supposed to feed me. Right? And purposefully that day in the early mornings he left, sat by Ganga, for whole evening. Didn't ask anyone for food. In the evening time, then people are coming and going, taking dip in the river. So one old mother came, and she found this person is sitting there, and she requested Swami Vairagyananda. She said, I have a small bag, I'll keep it here, take a dip and come back, just keep an eye on this. He said, okay. And he is sitting there meditating. And she went to the river, don't know what happened, she went somewhere else. She did not come back, he waited for hours. Where did she go? I'm waiting here because she left her bag, then she is not coming back. When he opened the bag, it was the food. It was the food. And then he cried. I think, if I remember, that night he had the vision of Mother Annapurna. Like this, you find so many stories. How Divine Mother takes care. Have you heard the story of Guruji about this? Okay, so here is the story from Guruji. In the year 2006 or 7, which year, or maybe 5, something like that. Exact year I don't remember. Guruji, few other monks, they are going to Vrindavan. And Guruji himself has told this story. So they are going to Vrindavan, and we know, you may know that Guruji doesn't eat while traveling. So he did not eat on the train for however number of hours. They got down from the train and they are all feeling hungry. So they wanted to buy some food. Guruji said, well, you buy food for yourself, don't buy anything for me. Then they said, then what are you going to eat? He said, Guruji said, well, we are going to temple of Lord Krishna, and he is the father. Right? He is the father, means I am the child. Right? When I am going to my father's house, why should I worry about anything? Right? With that kind of little thought, they all started walking. While walking, they were participating in the something called, have you heard of Govardhan Puja? Lord Krishna lifted up the mountain. There is specific puja that happens. So they are going to participate in that, the program. While they are walking on the road, people are coming and going opposite direction. So one person was walking very fast. And he came from the other direction very fast. He was holding something, gave it to Guruji and started walking further. Somebody, what is this? Who is this person? And the person is gone. Person is gone, and when Guruji opened the packet, it was the fresh prasad from the temple of Lord Krishna. Right? And just imagine when Guruji said, I am here, my father will take care of what my need. It was not just the word. It was the complete, that trust, that complete surrender. That is the attitude of a child. Like I was telling about the baby. Because they trust so much, then God has no way. The motherhood in Lord Krishna, right? The motherhood in Lord Krishna has to feed. There is no other way, right? So then what kind of relationship we can build? As I said, you look at your own personality, you find your connection. There is nothing wrong. But mothers become a little easier to connect, right? And if you look at the life of all our masters, in their life they have found special connection to their physical mother. Right? Think of Guruji, think of our Gurudev, he kept his mother. Right? Think of Swami Sri Ektaswarji, And you have heard how Swami Shiktashaji got scolding from his mother, right? Swami Shiktashaji and his mother, they are having some strong argument. And Swami Shiktashaji wanted to tell something forcefully, you should do this. And then his mother told, I am not a disciple. I am your mother, you are going to listen to me. And then he has no other option. Said, okay, whatever you say, I will do it. Right? So, the mothers are very, very unique and very special. And Guruji has mentioned, Guru said, the more I grow in this life, the more I grow in this life, I find the beauty and the greatness of the mother. Somebody said, a very famous person from India, exactly the name I don't remember, he said, and he was given some very big award for his contribution. He said, all the mothers, they should be given the Nobel Prize. Because the amount of dedication they have for their own children. So there is one problem. They get too attached to their children. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong to get attached to the children. The mother heart should be everybody, every children is mine. Right? When somebody has that kind of heart, right? Then it becomes easier to realize the truth. It becomes easier to realize the truth. There is a beautiful mantra. This mantra was chanted during the time of COVID. Have you heard of this mantra? And this mantra, when there is pandemic, this mantra has been suggested to chant. And if you chant this mantra, the pandemic like COVID will go away. And this is written in Durga Saptasati. This is mantra. So the mantra is Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhati Swaha Swadha Namastute. In this particular mantra, you find there are different names of Divine Mother. Jayanti, Mangala, Kali, Bhadra Kali, Kapalini, Durga, Shiva, Swaha, Sudha. 9, right? Durga, Kshama, Shiva, Dhati, Swaha, Sudha, Namaste. How many names? Jayanti, Mangala, Kali, Bhadra Kali, Kapalini. Then Durga. How many names? I'm getting confused. 9, I think. So anyway, so these are the 9 names of Divine Mother. 9 names of the Divine Mother to chant. To chant to be free from the situation like any kind of pandemic. And I know a lot of people in India chanted. When we discovered this mantra and we suggest a lot of people. So this is just an example. That means any problem that we would go through in our life, any kind of problems. Remember, Divine Mother, you are with me. Ma achana ami ache. When my mother is there with me, why should I worry for anything? She can take care of all my needs. Right? In this way, let us approach Matrudeva Bhava Upanishad. Right? Worship God as the mother. Worship mother as God. Right? Let us, anyway, so you find your own connection and accordingly you maintain the relationship. See, when you want to maintain the relationship, you have to fulfill certain things. Not that I love you, I don't take care of you. Right? When you want to maintain the relationship, and you have to do certain things, right? In the Master, in the Guru, we can find all the relationship, right? Guru as the mother. Gandhari addressed God as everything. In the same way, we can address Guru as all. You are the mother, you are the father, right? You are the wealth, you are everything to me, right? Anyways, find your own connection and maintain that connection for a long time. Let us pray to God, pray to the Gurus to help us to find a relationship with them.